I don't know where, when, how. All I know is that it's always been the only thing that I've wanted to do. I don't recall ever wanting to do something else. To be honest, with you, quite frank with you, there's never been a plan B, plan C. Even when in 2005 I had to leave from Chicago because I was there studying first. I was studying architecture at the Illinois Institute of Technology. We ran into some financial difficulties, and I wasn't sure where life was going to take me after that. At that point, I was very sad because the school that I was in Chicago, I felt like I was in heaven. Like I was just around these students who were like architectural nerds. Like they live, breathe, exude everything architecture. So for me to have had to leave that environment, it felt very sad, and I wasn't sure where life was going to take me from there. One thing I knew for sure that I wasn't done with architecture as yet, so
Mm-hmm.
I just had to find some other way to get back on the horse.
Mm-hmm.
My parents took me to Guatemala. To, forgot the name of the school. Landiver, something Landiver. But anyway, it's a really top-notch school in Guatemala City, and I
Mm-hmm.
was to have continued my architectural studies there, but the boy kind of had a reluctance to habla español. So,
Oh.
no, honestly, it wasn't a reluctance. I didn't want to not do well in class simply because I couldn't
The
speak or
language
understand the
barrier.
language
Mm-hmm.
being
Mm-hmm.
spoken.
Right.
I I prefer if I feel because of something what I do and I could own and say I feel because
Mm-hmm.
to have it be because of a language barrier, I don't know if I can live with that. So
Mm-hmm.
I as I had already gotten accepted to Raphael Landiver, that's the name of the school. I had already
Mm-hmm.
gotten accepted there, everything set. I just at the last minute backed out. And you know with these school things you back out, you have to wait a whole year again
Right.
to apply to another school and be accepted. So every time these things happen, it's a whole year gone by. But fortunately, during that time, I was working at Mitchell Moody and Associates. So still in the field, still in
Mm-hmm.
architecture. Just learning the practical side of it. Since the theory side, since the classroom side of it was on pause. So that was from 2006 to 2007. In August 2007, I went to Jamaica and resumed my studies. That's where I met her, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we both finished in 2009,
Mm-hmm.
all right, with a bachelor. And then I learned, of course, that, done there.
It
Um,
never does.
yeah, I went to the Association of Professional Architects to submit my application for membership. Proud and happy. I write
Well, of
a
course.
bachelor's though I could jump in now just to be told, you know got the correct bachelor's. You
What?
can't get in with this. I
Oh
like,
boy.
I
Uh,
man, so that was another heartbreaking moment.
mm-hmm.
Um, one memory of that, one fond memory, and I always have to thank Attorney Philip Zuniga. It grew to a point of contention where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sue APAP. They can't tell me I got a bachelor's degree and I can't get in. Da, da, da.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
for some reason Philip Zuniga came by Mitchell Moody, and I remember running out of my seat. I said, yo, Mr. Zuniga, I need to talk to you real quick. And I introduced myself because he knows my parents.
Mm-hmm.
They all went to St. Martin's Church
Mm-hmm.
together. Um,
Okay.
so I introduced myself and I told him I have an issue. I want to see how I could get into the association with my bachelor's. And he sat me down, he showed me the bylaws, and he said, you know what, Mr. Cayetano, if I were you, I would just go for my master's rather
Mm-hmm.
than waste the time trying to sue them
Fight
or
the
whatever.
system, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? You will be way more valuable with a master's degree. You have way more things that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very glad that he gave me that advice. I am very glad that I followed that advice.
Mm-hmm.
Because I one thing forget the advice, but our next thing to follow it.
You said it.
So
You said it.
for him to have given me that advice was the best advice. For me to have followed that advice was the best thing I could
Mm-hmm.
have done.
Yeah, a blessing. Wow.
Yeah. So I in 2012 I went back to Jamaica to do my master's degree. Finished in 2014. Um, Somehow, somewhere along that path, I met an architect, Abel Flores, and he mentored me into um into the association, and he vouched for me. So while I was in Jamaica doing school, I was also working for him from
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica. He works out
Mm-hmm.
at Cayo.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God for the internet. You could do these things. I could be all
Mm-hmm.
the way in Jamaica and still working for somebody in Cayo.
Mm-hmm. So you were doing remote before there was a remote
Yeah,
working title.
yeah. So that was happening all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so by the time I finished in June 2014, I was already I already had years work experience, and when I graduated, I just continued with him
Mm-hmm.
remotely still, and then we met in person on some projects that couldn't be done remotely,
Mm-hmm.
and then in 20 late 2014, like December, November, December, there's always MAGA season in architecture from
Like in
November
every,
to March.
like in
So
everything
my
else.
first experience of this MAGA season,
Oh
why
boy.
it lick hard. There are no jobs, nothing to do from November
Mm-hmm.
to March, right? I was like, yo, no money, no, there, no job, no nothing. I was like, I got scared,
Mm-hmm.
right? I didn't know what it was. I thought
Mm-hmm.
why maybe some kind of thing happened. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2015, I saw an ad in the newspaper for an architecture lecture at UB. So I was like, yo, all right, this is, I prefer go teach than be broke.
Well, yes.
Although the funny thing is, when we were at school, we always had this saying that those who can do and those who can't teach. So I was like,
Mm.
nah, nah, nah,
So
nah.
either.
Yeah, I spent my whole time to condemn people who the teach architecture and watch me going to teach now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I quickly learned the the fallacy, the stupidity, frankly, in that saying.
Mm-hmm.
There's no harm, there's no one or the other. There's no
Mm-hmm.
you can only practice or you can only teach. The
Mm-hmm.
perfect merger, the perfect marriage is doing both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Students in the classroom need faculty members, need teachers who are in the field practicing so that they could bring real world experience and scenario into the classroom.
I
So,
agree with that.
so, so the whole idea of teacher practice was stupid. It was completely stupid, completely
Mm-hmm.
young and ignorant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have been doing the two since 2015. In 2019, I finally got accepted into the association. This
Yay!
is still years after.
Congratulations. Nice.
Yeah.